Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode number 25, milestone, of Short, Fat, and Balding, a podcast by Armchair Quarterbacks for Armchair Quarterbacks. I am Travis, one of only two of us who will be navigating you through some sports chat for the next hour and a half. With me is James.
Go. If you like your steak well done with ketchup, don't say anything. Gross, man.
Yeah, that's
You need to
disgusting.
get better.
Down
You
a
need to
peg.
get better.
Down a peg. If he was a 6.5, he's a 4 now. Well, we're going to talk about pretty much the only thing on the sports landscape right now. Obviously, the NHL All-Star is currently happening. There's some whispers among the trade market there, but that doesn't really pick up till March, so we'll leave that for then. So it's basically just the NFL. The conference championship weekend is over. The outcome was not as we had hoped, and the Super Bowl is. I don't think I've been so disinterested in the Super Bowl since I started watching them. So, we will get into that. We'll get into the Pro Bowl games, whatever that means. Coaches, hirings, firings, and all that's going on. So, all that and so very much more on this week's episode of Short, Fat, and Balding. Okay, James. I believe we went 0 for 2 on our predictions for the championship games.
Yeah. Yeah, not what I wanted at all.
Yeah.
Literally the opposite of what was, when the Chiefs won, I was like, just let my Lions get it. And here we are.
Here we
Let
are.
down. I was really hoping for a Eminem versus Taylor Swift Bowl so Eminem could freestyle some mean things about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was just hoping for like something new. Like Baltimore hasn't been in since the lights went out.
Against the 49ers.
Exactly. But they haven't even been like this far and that long. The 49ers I feel like have been around for at least the last 5 years. The Chiefs are the new Patriots. They're just always there. So the idea, especially for like the Lions, for the Lions to be in the Super Bowl, that would have been nuts.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
That would have checked
I
another.
would have loved that for Detroit.
That would have. I think, are they a team that's never been?
I think they've been.
No, the Detroit
No,
Lions.
they've only been to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, four. There are a dozen teams that haven't won. There are 4 that haven't made it. Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and Houston. So
We'll get one day.
That could have checked one of those off the box.
It could have. Maybe next year.
It's so crazy because like Detroit and Cleveland have been around forever, and then Jacksonville and Houston kind of makes sense because they've only been around since '96. So like, unless they got their shit together quick, they're not gonna make it. But like Detroit and fucking Cleveland, bro, they've been in the league since 1966. Well, longer than that.
Yeah,
That's when the merger happened. So they've been around since before the merger.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like seeing new teams in there, and I think it would have been a situation like with Cincinnati when they went, where like the fans were just happy to partake in that weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I know I talk about the Bengals a lot, but it's one of those things where it's like something I can relate to when it comes to this is like in my lifetime, I'd never seen them win a playoff game or even, be considered a heavy favorite to win a playoff game. But, it was kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see that where, so say the Lions did make it and they lost in the Super Bowl, Detroit wouldn't have given a shit.
No, they would have been very
It's the
much
same
happy to be
thing.
there.
Same thing as Buffalo. Buffalo wants to win it, but if they made it there, the city of Buffalo is burning to the ground. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't like seeing dynasties, and I think that might stem from the Patriots being in the Super Bowl pretty much fucking every year during my
For the
childhood.
better part of 20 years, yeah.
Yeah.
But like
So,
dynasties also aren't good for leagues. Like one of the things that's important for leagues is parity because you want all of your franchises to feel like they have a shot every year and for it to feel like they have a shot every year in terms of like the rotational participation in the championship level. And plus as far as I'm concerned, parity says that you have a high level of competition. If the same teams are always making it, then that tells you that your competition is not very stiff. So I know I'm not saying the
yeah.
NFL doesn't have stiff competition, but I'm just saying it doesn't bode well. People aren't going to tune in. Now, the NFL got lucky this year with Taylor Swift because that made they got, you know, what, 30 million Chiefs fans who've never seen them even play a Super Bowl. So I mean
Yeah.
for
I mean,
them,
but question for you. How long do you think that lasts? Because going into next year, you think there's still going to be that hype around
no.
the Chiefs if Travis and Taylor are still together? And to be honest with you, I've heard and read a couple things that Travis has talked about retirement,
Oh, that'd be crazy.
which would it though? I mean, I don't know if there's any truth behind it. It's just a bunch of articles and shit. But if anything I've learned, half the time those claims end up being right. Um,
Yeah, well, it's 50-50 right now. There's Grob Gronkowski says that there's definitely some smoke to Travis Kelce retirement room. But then Sports Illustrated said that there was a mic'd up conversation between him and Patrick Mahomes where he basically talked about the fact that he's going to be playing until the wheels fall off. So I think it'll
so,
depend a
but
lot on his brother too, because like Jason kind of rescinded all the rumors about his retirement, and
yeah, but I think he wanted to do that on his own terms. He didn't want it to be released that way.
right,
I think is what majority of that was. And if you think about it, Travis is 34, which is young, but in the NFL, it's you're getting towards the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, he's got like
Um,
maybe 2 years of being elite left.
but if you're Travis Kelsey, right, and you're looking around, and I don't know how much he thinks about it, but like Jason has always talked about how he worries about waking up and being able to remember his children and all that stuff.
Yeah,
If you're Travis Kelsey, so based on everything I've seen, he's dating a pop star,
a
billionaire.
billionaire. Yeah,
He's gonna he could not play another down after this Super Bowl and still go down as one of, if not the greatest tight ends to ever play the
yeah,
game.
he's already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And he's got money. He's by the looks of things, him and Taylor are going swimmingly.
Yeah,
Would you risk any further, you know, injuries to your body, head stuff? You have all this, you have all these potential risks playing the game. You've already, so if he wins this one, it'll be three. So he'll have three Super Bowl championships.
mm-hmm.
I think Jason is kicking himself for not going out last year and going out on, or, not going out last year and going out on that high. Would Travis Kelsey think the same? I mean, this year was a struggle for the Chiefs. He's even admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've
Plus,
got a bunch of things to look into.
there's the rumor mill about Andy Reid retiring.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, if you're Travis Kelsey, right, you're 34, you've got millions of dollars. Let's be honest, he don't need to work another day in his life. He's
No,
got all these ad deals and stuff. He could do commentating because he's got one of those personalities for it. Why wouldn't you go out on top? You know what I'm saying? And if him and Taylor end up, being an actual like long term marriage thing, now he gets to travel with her and go to all her shows and just hang out,
right.
and spend time with her. And I think, I don't know, if I was him, that'd definitely be in the back of my head.
Dude, this is an
And
insane article. Sorry.
then the question becomes too, what is Pat Mahomes without Travis Kelce?
Right. Well, I mean,
You know,
I have to say, as somebody who this was a big watermark for me because obviously he had never had to do what he did this year, and so to go and play 3 games on the road and win and get to the Super Bowl again, like, you know, I can't talk shit about that anymore. He did that.
no, there's no doubt about it. But I also have questions. How much of that was his defense?
Right. I mean, they didn't put up many
You know,
points.
not to take away from him because he has been the best quarterback for a while now, but he's not this year.
No.
Um, and I think so. Everybody complained about the drop passes and stuff. And don't get me wrong, there are some of them that you're like, you got to catch that. That's not you. There's no question about it. But he's missed on a lot more throws this year than he has in the past.
Right.
A lot. So it kind of makes me wonder, is he starting to regress? Um, yeah. So the only during the playoffs he put up 26 points on the Dolphins in the cold. But let's be honest here, the Dolphins defense has been suspect for
Yeah, it was
the whole
26,
season.
27, and 17. Those were his three totals.
And yeah, and then the Bills won. The Bills defense, to be honest, isn't the greatest. They're down a lot of people. They're battered and broken in the secondary. And then
The
he faces a
Ravens,
good defense, puts up 17.
yeah, the Ravens defense was legit.
Um,
I'll say this: 17 ain't gonna cut it against the Niners.
no, it will not. And I don't know that that defense can stop CMC, Debo, and Ayuk.
Right.
And then you got
And
Kittle.
I was saying you forgot about Kittle.
Yeah, like there's no. I don't know that the Chiefs are winning it. I think this is going to be Brock Purdy's year, and we're going to have to listen to how Brock Purdy's elite for at least a year. Which,
I just don't believe it.
no.
I just can't with that roster. I just can't. And maybe I'm being fucking petty. Maybe I'm being stupid. But like, I genuinely feel like I could do. I could hand the ball off to CMC and do flat routes to Debo Samuel. Like I feel like I could run that offense.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
mean,
whatever, good for them. You know.
if we're going to watch them go 31 for 37 with 160 yards in the Super Bowl, then so be it. But I just, I don't know. I'm very upset with this matchup. I'm not happy about it at all, for being honest.
Neither am I. It
Not.
was the
I
worst case
think.
scenario for me.
I think the Lions, even the Ravens, would have been more fun of a matchup. But
So speaking of the Lions, what do you what do you take of that game? What's your take on it? Because obviously, I personally am from the school of thought that Dan Campbell's entire identity has been to be a ball buster and to go for it and to do all those things. So I'm not going to hold that against them. But there are other people who said that, like, with the game on the line, you got to kick the field goal. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. As you're going for a Super Bowl, you're not just going for regular season wins.
you know what? Here's the thing. Dan Campbell got there by doing the shit he did during the championship game. There's a couple drop passes. If let's put it this way, if he goes for it and succeeds,
He's a genius.
it's a whole different conversation.
And
He's a genius.
if that fucking ball doesn't bounce off that one dude's helmet directly into fucking Brandon Ayuk's hands,
Yeah. It's a whole different conversation we're having. It's look how good Dan Campbell is. Look at the balls it took to do this, and he got it done. You know, that's what he does. That's what he's always done. Yes, he's going for a Super Bowl. Yes, it is a bigger game. Yes, it is more on the line. But it's what he's done all year. It's what we expected. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? The Steelers left their regular defense out there twice on punts because they were afraid of a fake punt. That's who he is.
Right.
He goes for it. He doesn't care. It's balls to the wall. I think anybody knocking him needs to just sit down and shut up. You know what I'm saying? And if they're like, I mean, all those talking heads and stuff, it's one of those things where it's like, I understand where you're coming from, but if you were as good as Dan Campbell, why aren't you a head coach in the NFL?
Right.
It is, it's his personality. You're gonna have a hard time getting me to shit on Dan Campbell and the Lions because he's turned that organization around. And honestly, I think this is going to be a years to come thing. This isn't a one off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a war in the North um, for the foreseeable future. I mean, obviously
Hmm.
the Packers look good. The Vikings they're just a few pieces away, and then you got the Lions. I mean, the, it's a really good division. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Campbell is there to stay. Number one, and number two
Yeah.
is the Lions are probably going to be around for a bit. I mean, that core is young, minus Jared Goff. I don't know how old he is. Um,
No,
but
but they got Hendon Hooker waiting in the wings too.
Jared Goff is 29, so he's still got another 5 years.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, they're set for at least. I would say they're probably set through to 2030 to be competitive.
Yeah. And Jameer Gibbs, they need to start feeding that man the rock.
Yeah,
I was watching him and I was like, whew. You know, it's one of those things where the Lions are going to be the team I root for in the NFC to go far every year. I like watching them play. I love Aiden Hutchinson.
yeah, and they have great uniforms. They're just
Yeah, that helps.
they're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch. I will give them that.
Every time I think about it, I just think about the fact that it was literally the first time in history that somebody had texted the Lions won a playoff game, and that's just fucking crazy to
Mhm.
me. It's 2024, and we've had texting for 25 years.
That was the big whole shtick with the Bengals. My
Yeah.
buddy Jaden, I remember the conversation. He told me he was going to text me when they won. He was going to text me that way he could be the first one to send the text message. And I was like, yeah, I've already sent it 1,000 times, but okay. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. I want to see different teams, and
Right.
I think it would have been good for the league if Lamar made it, but I'm glad though because it puts to rest that whole stupid logo thing.
Yeah. Thank God.
That was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if it's the real one or not. They came out with someone posted a picture of next year's and it's light blue and orange.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lions Bengals, let's go. That'd be fun. I want to see a matchup like that in this coming years is like two teams that have never won one. So at the end of the day, a team that's never won one is getting one.
Right. Oh, dude, two things were destroyed with that by the Niners.
What's that?
The Super Bowl logo conspiracy and the Kirk Cousins curse were both broken.
Kirk Cousins curse.
Yeah, up until this year, a team that had lost to Kirk Cousins in the regular seasons had never made it to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh shit.
But people were like joking about the fact that the 49ers lost to Kirk Cousins, so like their hopes for a Super Bowl was over.
Did you see with the Niners and Chiefs being in the Super Bowl, no Alabama player has ever scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and that streak's going to continue through this year.
Really?
Yeah,
No
this shit's
Alabama
funny.
player has ever scored?
No Alabama player has ever scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's what I read. Yep. No player who ended his college career playing for the Crimson Tide has done score a point in the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Yeah. Take your national championships and shove them, bud. It's
That's
kind of nuts if
crazy
you think about it.
considering last year. I mean, Devontae Smith was there, and so was because Devontae Smith finished his career with Alabama, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he didn't score.
No.
Crazy dude.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to think about
Yeah.
for a team that's um a college team that's so quote unquote dominant
Mm-hmm.
to not have any of your players score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, which I mean, that only shows to one side of the ball, but they're known as an offensive powerhouse.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's so fun. Devontae Smith had
that's
seven receptions, 100 yards, no touchdowns.
yeah, that's nuts.
But
Kind of funny,
that's
but
also because the Eagles just run it with fucking Hurts when they get
yeah, well, if the touch push works, why do something else?
there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, if I was them, and it's like at first, in like I'm doing the tush push the whole way down the field. Fuck it until somebody stops it. Yeah. Apparently, Jason Kelsey used to scream "fuck his life" as he snapped the ball,
That's hilarious.
which that is kind of funny. I feel bad for him because as a center, he's taking on a lot of that weight. But
Yeah. There was like one meme that was that the broken Peter Griffin. And it was like Jason Kelsey at the bottom of the pile, just looking. It was just in every direction. Do you think that the Ravens collapsed, dude? They did not look good.
they didn't. Um, I don't know. They It seemed offensively they struggled to get going after the opening drive. Like it
Yeah.
seemed like no matter what they did, they could not get traction, which sounds like duh, they didn't score much, but it's one of those things where it's like they didn't really turn it on until the last quarter, and then that fumble
Yeah.
that kind of hurt everything. Which I mean, you can't blame Zay Flowers for trying to get in the end zone.
No,
You just can't.
I don't. And it was one of those games where it felt like every single bounce went the Chiefs' way. Like every 50-50 ball, every odd bounce, every quirky thing just went the way of the Chiefs.
They could not catch a break if they wanted to,
It was fucking
and
crazy.
which it happens. You're always gonna That's gonna happen. In every game, someone's gonna get majority of the bad bounces and shit. But
Right.
it just seemed like after a few minutes, they couldn't. After that first drive, they couldn't really get out of their own way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So
they had a handful of like really shitty calls
yeah,
that were like
I don't know. It's one of those things now where like the refs, the way refing has been, it's one of those things where it's like you can't even. You just got to bank on getting shit calls.
oh yeah,
You know?
when I was saying that, I meant like they had like mental error like penalties like that fucking Zay Flowers unsportsmanlike conduct for uh dropping the ball on the opponent, and then
Which that one was kind of stupid if you ask me, because like the dude was grabbing him still after the play was whistled dead. If he's gonna push and shove, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like
it wasn't the
the dude's
shove
got a
that
hold of
got him
him.
called, it was the ball.
Oh my god! Let
Yeah,
them taunt.
I know.
Actually, a wise man what once said, "Let the boys taunt."
Yeah, I understand that they're trying to like make it so that way the league is like representable to the youth, but like it's very and it should be a judgment call. Like it's
Yeah,
obvious that he's doing that because of the heat of the competition and the fact that they have been going to war the whole night and he was being held all the way to the ground, then couldn't get up. So like that situation, like you should be able to assess and say, okay, this isn't Zay Flowers being a fucking little bitch. It's just the heat of competition. And
Yeah, I mean, if he was like standing over him and like teabagging him, then okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there's a
Like if he was doing something that's going to rise to violence.
yeah, we all know when it crosses the line. I didn't feel like it crossed the line, but they
No, it felt kind of weak.
and like that fucking unsportsmanlike conduct on that intentional offside, like that felt like a soft
Oh,
call.
yeah.
Like he jumped it specifically to that way they could deal with 1st and 10, not 1st and 5, without running the clock. And then
Hmm.
they call him for unsportsmanlike conduct and just hand 15 yards to the Chiefs. It's like, dude, come on.
You're going to have that shit though. I mean, they need
Yeah,
to do something in the offseason. They need to
they won't.
revamp
They
the
won't.
officiating because this is
We've
ridiculous.
been doing this. We've been the refereeing has been a problem since the replacement ref year. It's been a glaring
Yeah.
issue, and the league just doesn't care. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but the statistics for that referee that refereed that Chiefs Baltimore game, he is statistically the worst referee against home teams. He calls 30% more calls against the home team. The home team has never um, hit the spread against him. They're 0 and like 27 against the spread with him as the official or the head referee. Um, it was it was bad. A bad matchup, and he did
See,
exactly what I thought he would do.
the problem I have with those statistics is you look at it and it's like, okay, but what games has he played? What games has he refed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, I think we have to look at that too, but I
but
mean,
you
obviously there's a trend there.
I was gonna say, but that's in him comparing every other referee. So like when you look at every other
There.
referee crew, like how like it's one thing if it's like within the margin of error, but to be he's the only official that negatively impacts the home team. Every other official or every other referee crew in the league is like a 5 to 6% increase on the home team. Like they favor the home team more, and then his is a 30% decrease in the home team. Like that's that's a concern.
That's wild. Yeah,
And then to put him
that's a problem.
like, and it's like the league doesn't even realize the writing on the wall. They just like to feed the conspiracy theories because like to put him in that game, knowing that people are going to say that the refs are rigged for the Chiefs, and you're going to put a guy who's openly biased against home teams statistically, and you know that because you have those meta stats, and then you're like, ah, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, you'd think with a statistic like that, they would not put those guys in the playoffs.
Right? There's like no accountability. It's all based on seniority and like rotations. It's like no, when the regular season's over, it should be based on your body of work for the regular season. How was your percentages? You know, how much did you affect games? Did you get the calls right? That's it. It doesn't matter how long you've been a referee. If you got the calls right all year long, and you were statistically like the most neutral referee, you should get postseason games, and then you work your way down from there.
Yeah,
And then they build these fucking quote unquote referee all star teams for the Super Bowl, and then it always gets fucked up because those guys don't have synergy. They don't know what each other's gonna call. They don't know what each other's watching, so they miss calls.
yeah. I mean, you would think with the money the NFL has, they would be able to afford to pay their referees 24/7.
I mean, they get paid
Like,
plenty of money. They get paid 175 grand.
but yeah, but they also work other jobs and shit too.
Yeah, but they don't have
You know what I'm
to.
saying? Make them full time.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Sorry. I think my mouse is downstairs from my computer, and I think my dog is grabbing it
That's awesome.
because my mouse is going fucking absolutely haywire.
That's
What?
hilarious.
What are we doing here, friend? There we go. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Um,
plug that.
So yeah,
Sorry, that
so
was creeping the fuck out of me real quick.
oh, you're
But
good. So with all that being said, what do you think's going to happen in the Super Bowl?
who I think's gonna win,
Yeah, I mean you could
or
give the whole play out. What do you think's going to happen?
I think Chiefs go up early and the 49ers end up finishing it off.
So the same thing as Detroit game.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing Kansas City winning this game.
Me too.
Like, if you think about it, San Fran gets to practice against one of the best tight ends in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whereas they have that experience, they're going to be able to slow Kelsey down, and I think that's how you beat them. You get Kelsey out of the way, you can win easily. And the Ravens did a horrible job at that. And I think that's why they lost. But due to it being the last game of the year, I have to pick Kansas City to win it because they have a higher violent crime rate than San Francisco does.
That's crazy.
By a lot, too. By over 30 percentage points.
I would have never predicted
That's
that.
wild. Nope. So, for crime statistics game of the week, I'm going to take Kansas City money line. Travis Kelsey with 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And Patty Mahomes has over 250 yards. Seems safe, but I want it to hit.
So Kansas City money line. What are like so straight up? You're not going to take them spread? Allows Kansas City to lose.
No, give me the money line. What's the spread?
The spread is second.
I thought you were going to say it was 1. I was like, Jesus.
2.
2. So, give me the spread there. Yeah, I'll take the spread there. Travis Kelsey, 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, over 250.
Okay. Fair enough.
What about you? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's just going to be uh, uh what's the word I want to use? A thrashing.
I don't know. I was going to say you haven't used any real words yet, so.
It's going to be a thrashing. It's going to be bad.
You think so?
I don't think Kansas City stays in the game much past the second quarter.
Wow. They wouldn't. The NFL wouldn't allow that to happen to Taylor Swift.
Sure they would. It wasn't about them winning. It's about them. I mean, I guess maybe because of the fact they'll buy merch if they win the Super Bowl.
I'm sure they'll have some catchy Taylor Swift line for it.
I just don't see a
Which,
world where a struggling Chiefs offense goes up against a just as good a defense as they have in the 49ers and comes out anywhere close. And the 49ers there's one of those offenses where you just can't stop them for any length of time. Like, yeah, you can stop them for a half, couple quarters, but you're not stopping them for the whole game. So can Kansas City score enough points against that offense to win? No, I don't think they do. I think they lose like 35-17.
I think it's going to be closer than that. But we haven't really seen a thrashing in a Super Bowl lately. The last one I can think of wasn't it Broncos Seahawks?
Yeah, that one was bad.
Yeah. That one was ugly from the jump, though.
Yeah, I got off to a terrible start.
But
Super Bowl NFL history. Okay, so we'll go recently. Oh no, dude, the Super Bowl in 2021 was 31-9. Tampa Bay beat Kansas City.
that's right.
Yeah.
You think it's a repeat of that?
I don't think it'd be that bad. I think it'd be more along the lines of like the Denver Carolina game that was 24-10. Yeah, dude, Seattle Denver and East Rutherford 43-8.
That was Seattle won that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was prime Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so, so strong.
that was when we thought the fucking dynasty was coming, and the next year was the 28-24 pass that got intercepted on that.
I honestly, I don't, it just doesn't make any sense. With Marshawn Lynch, what are you doing?
Right. Do some quick math. It's from 2000. Actually, I'll do 99 because that's 25 years. So, 2, 5, 6. So, out of 25 Super Bowls for the last 25 years, only 7 have been a differential of more than 2 scores.
Hmm.
Most of them are 1-score games. There's a couple that are like, 10-point games, but most of them are 7 points.
Yeah, I think a lot of them been close. I think it's good for football to have them close.
And it should
I
be,
seen
but
Reba's singing the national anthem this year.
yes.
Honestly, when it comes to performances and all that, nothing beats that Bengals Rams Super Bowl. Nothing.
Because of fucking Snoop?
Not even that. Chris Stapleton sung that national anthem, gave America the goosebumps. And then Snoop, 50, M, and Dre come out.
And Mary
It's
J.
just like,
Blige.
they had Mary J. Blige. Like, I think that was, it didn't get any better than that.
I mean, you're forgetting the Prince halftime show.
I don't know. I think the nostalgia from that one was what did it. Because that shit hit. I don't care what anybody says.
It
That
did
was,
hit, but I'm
whew.
just saying, like, it's pretty much a debate between who, Michael Jackson, and Prince over the greatest halftime show of all time, and Prince leads that by like a margin in terms of like.
The titty flop also was up there.
Yeah, but not for good reasons. Jesus Christ.
I don't care. I will never forget that. I don't remember who played in the Super Bowl. I just remember sitting there and I was at my buddy's house and his dad goes, her whole tit just fell out.
Yeah.
And then rewinded it back and played it in slow motion
I was
as me
so
chuckled.
I was so mad that I went for a walk. I was so mad.
Mm.
Um Holy shit.
But
I'm just looking at like past MVPs. Super Bowl 50, Tom Brady had 466 yards.
check down Tommy.
You know the last defensive player to win MVP?
Was it James Harrison for the Steelers?
Oh, Super Bowl 50.
Super Bowl 50. Can you give me the matchup?
Super Bowl 50.
The numbers.
Denver and Carolina. So it was the Cam Newton concussion game.
Oh, that was Von Miller, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks.
Back when he was a beast.
Then Malcolm Smith won it for the Legion of Boom Bowl. That's crazy.
That's
Those
right.
stats are crazy, though. He had an interception for touchdown, a fumble recovery, and 10 tackles and 2 tackles for loss.
Did James Harrison win one? Did he win it that Super Bowl where he brought it back 99 yards?
Did you?
I don't know why I thought
That
James
year,
Harrison won that.
Santonio Holmes won.
Oh, that was the toe tap in the back of the end zone against the Cardinals.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah, that was a good Super Bowl, too.
Santonio Holmes won. Hines Ward won.
Mm. Oh.
For interesting fun facts. What? Oh, okay.
What?
This is overall leaders. I thought it was Super Bowl leaders. This says overall touchdown leaders, but it says so. The way the statistics are, it says Super Bowl winners, Super Bowl MVPs, and then leaders. But leaders breaks into like all-time leaders because it says 208 touchdowns for Jerry Rice. I was like, Jerry Rice ain't scored no 208 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. I don't fucking
Just
care.
that one game.
I was like, hell no. It's funny. Are you gonna watch any of the Pro Bowl games?
Honestly, no.
Tickets are $23, dude. Sad.
I think the Bengals only have 2 guys in it. Yeah, Jamar and Trey Hendrickson, which they've been in it every. Oh my God!
8.
Can I help you?
There's 8.
Yeah, well, we have very little shining bright pieces on our team right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Or this year.
obviously AJ Brown, he was almost like he was an offensive MVP half the year. Landon Dickerson, Jalen Hurts, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Hassan Reddick, Miles Sanders, Darius Slay, Devontae Smith.
I think I'll watch a grand total of maybe 5 minutes of it. Probably catch the highlights. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I'll probably just see like what they do. I mean, it is funny to see the Manning brothers go at it. Like I'll watch it for that entertainment factor, but that's really it.
Yeah, that's fair. But
I like how
I
there's a
figure
thing.
next week we should probably wait till Nico's back and we can do a whole Super Bowl preview.
Yeah,
with Nico.
that's fair. So we can go. You said you had a little trivia game you put together.
Yes, I did.
Are you leaning away from your mic because you're a little quiet?
Is that better?
Yes.
Sorry. The cat came up and stomped all over my shit, so
It's all right.
I hit some stuff in the process. But yeah, actually, I have a fun little trivia game I put together because I have been bored with COVID.
All right, I'll do my best.
So,
Put some
okay,
game show
it's
music
going to
over
be a fun
this.
little game. It's called Guess the Athlete.
Oh, I suck at these. Okay.
Um, it's not a normal thing, so you might do okay with it. Pick a number 1 through 5, and that's where I'll start.
2.
2. Okay. So this athlete has played various sports in his lifetime. None of them professionally, though.
Okay.
He has played football, baseball, volleyball, basketball, and soccer. Some people know him as a golden boy. He celebrates his birthday every 7 years. I have 2 more hints to give you if you would like to try at them, or you can just take a guess and see where you land.
I'm trying to think. Is it Ric Flair?
It is not Ric Flair.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. The big key for you is going to be he celebrates a birthday every 7 years. Or no, he celebrates 7 birthdays in a year. My bad.
7 birthdays in a year?
In a year, he's a very very good boy.
Oh, Airbud?
Airbud is correct.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, athlete number 3. We started with 2.
Mm-hmm.
She is a basketball player.
Caitlin.
Standing at a huh?
Whatever her name is, Caitlin. Caitlin Clark.
Nope.
Okay.
She stands at 3'2" tall. She made her debut in 1996 and helped her team beat the Monstars.
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny is correct.
I see what this
Okay,
is.
we have another athlete. Number 4. He ended up being a professional golfer, even though that wasn't his intentions. He had dreams of playing hockey ever
Happy
since he was
Gilmore.
young. Happy Gilmore is correct. Okay, our next athlete played professional baseball for Atlanta, New York, Boston, Seattle, and San Francisco. He had a very abrasive personality, and his fastball lost its juice and ended his career. After his career ended, he became a phys ed teacher and tried to revive his career. He played for the Myrtle Beach Mermen, got back into the pros, and then faked his own death for a girl.
It's a fucking Dennis Quaid movie.
No. You're thinking of The Rookie.
Oh, it's Kenny Powers.
It is Kenny Powers.
He's
All
counting down, dude. All right.
We got one last one. If you don't get this one, I'm going to be very upset with you because I am personally in love with her. She was born August 11th, 1981. She married her high school sweetheart and has 3 children with him, and he is sort of a cop. She played for the Hollyhead Harpies for a few years, then became a correspondent for the Daily Prophet.
Is that Ginny Weasley?
It is Ginny Weasley.
Wow.
You nailed them all. There was nothing in the way of statistics for Quidditch on the way. By the way,
I know they just talk about it very briefly about her career.
But and then I had a tiebreaker just in case you guys couldn't fucking square it away, which is the top 15 active MLB home run leaders, which is wild. There's a couple of Yankees on that list though. But that's all I had. When I was doing it, I was like, Trav is immediately going to go to real athletes, and it's going to be fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I tried to throw some like stuff in there to give it away. Airbud was the hardest one. I was like trying not to give it away, but also be like, this isn't a fucking human being, by the way.
Did you want to hear some
We
fun
started with that one.
history of the Hollyhead Harpies?
Ooh, I always like mythical
Yeah.
histories.
So they were founded in 1203, which is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
They're a Welsh team, and they competed in what is considered to be one of the finest games ever seen, as they defeated the Heidelberg Harriers in a 7-day match in 1953.
That's wild. They take breaks to sleep, you think?
I don't think so.
I mean, after day 3, you got to start hallucinating, no?
Well, they could probably have like potions and shit. I don't know.
I don't know why my mind immediately went to just them slamming monsters. Like, I don't know why my brain was like, oh yeah, they're drinking Red Bull.
That'd be funny. I'm sure they have like I don't know. They never really get into it. They do talk about it in the books that like matches have lasted a while and people go missing. But
Which that's just wild to me. Could you imagine, like, oh yeah, no, Ohio State and Michigan went to 7 overtimes, and then fucking JT Barrett was just gone.
yeah,
Like,
just missing. He turned up in a month or
where,
two.
but he was fine. Yeah, this shit's wild. I love Harry Potter so
Hell
much.
yeah. Um, Fun fact: Ginny had a poster of Gwendolyn Morgan in her house at the Borough.
Who's Gwendolyn Morgan?
She was the captain from that 1953 team.
Oh,
She rode a clean sweep 5 broom. That means
sounds made up.
it is.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty amped for those that TV series to come out.
I am very excited for that because I was going to be upset if they tried to redo movies because you just can't. But doing it
Hmm.
in a TV format allows them to dive deeper and change it enough where it doesn't feel like they're like stabbing at your nostalgia. They're like legitimately trying to create a different, unique IP using Harry Potter.
And J.K. Rowling is part of the
Yeah, she's one of the executive
executives on
producers.
it,
Yeah,
so
which like fuck J.K.
I don't know.
Rowling, but
I hope they stick to the books though. Give me some Peeves. You
yeah,
guys skipped over
P's
the
missing it
movie.
from the movies was a big problem for me. That and I don't know, you know the books pretty well, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So like one of my biggest gripes is that in the fifth book was my favorite book. Um, the Order of the Phoenix.
Hmm.
That whole craziness that happened at the Department of or the Ministry of Magic, like they don't even get into that. Like remember, like each of them split off and they all had their own challenge to overcome. And like remember, Ron was like getting strangled by something in a fish tank and like shit. Like it was crazy, and
Yeah.
they didn't
Give
do
me that.
any of that.
You know what really bothered me deeply about the movies is they never showed the like I guess the apology from the Dursleys,
Yeah,
and
they hinted at it, but they never
completely
showed it.
they skipped completely over the scene right before Voldemort gets killed. There was a whole ass battle in the hallway,
Yep,
like the hallways of the school.
yep,
They skipped over all of that, and
and
that's why like when
that's also
they
not
said they're coming
how.
up with shows.
Yeah, and that's not how like Harry has to when Voldemort dies. Like Harry's contemplating using a Vada Kedavra on him. Like
Yeah,
he's having a whole internal monologue, and like the only thing that stops it is the fact that Neville sliced Nagini's head off. But other than that, like they didn't show any of that. They is dumb.
yeah.
And then
Mm. They did so many things right with that book or with the movies,
yeah,
but they also missed on so much,
they did.
and it's heartbreaking because reading the books, I was like, man, they could have done a really cool job with this.
Yep. Yep. But it
I
goes to
don't know.
show
I'm
that
addicted
that's
to Harry
why I
Potter.
like books being translated into a TV medium because there's more time.
And you
We've
can go further into storylines.
Yeah, we've moved into an era where people are totally okay with hour plus long episodes of television. So
I'm
think
dude.
of
If you give me a show and you say this is only going to be, you're only going to get 10 episodes per season, but it's 2 hour episodes, I'm here for it.
right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like so we had an hour. The first movie, the movie. We'll say this: the movies for Harry Potter averaged like I think 2 hours and 15 minutes when you account for everything. Um,
Mm.
Now imagine taking that and each movie except for books or the final one was 1 year of school. So now instead of getting an hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours to discuss that entire school year, you get 8 to 10 hours. They're going to have
Yeah.
so much more ability to show what's going on and develop side stories and things like that because like they don't really address the situation would show as deeply as it was. They don't really address the nuances of the what's it called, the Goblet of Fire, like that whole
Mhm.
situation. Um, they don't.
Also, the main character's storyline, Harry and Ginny aren't even a thing until the seventh movies.
Not officially, like I think it's
But
like
like,
the sixth and seventh ones they become like a thing because like she kisses him in the Room of Requirement in the sixth book.
yeah, but that was really they don't really cover that whole relationship. Where in the book it goes into detail, you know, which you'd think him being the fucking main character of the whole series, they would touch on that. But
Yeah, but
okay,
it felt like I mean the whole romance feature of Harry Potter was like kind of put on the side burner, and it felt like that was intentional because they wanted to keep it focused on the battle of good and evil kind of thing.
yeah, but you also have to show those nuances of life. I mean, you can
Right.
hide it, but at the end of the day, that's a big part of Harry's decision making and all that.
Yeah, and it's a big part of his relationship with Ron, is Ron's sister.
Yeah, it is Ron's sister.
So
But no, I'm pretty amped about that. I think that'll be good.
it is going to be good. Also, fun fact:
Hopefully they
my porn book story is also getting a television show.
is it. Oh, you were saying that. Yeah, it's gonna be sexual. It's gonna be fun.
They signed with I can't think of who they signed with, but basically like Prime is gonna broadcast. Should be good. Prime does Wheel of Time right now, and I've really impressed with how they're doing that and handling it. So I'm excited.
Have you seen Napoleon yet?
No, a lot of
Must
his.
watch.
I'm gonna watch it, but a lot of historians said it was dog shit.
Oh, I'm talking from just a pure entertainment value.
Yeah, I've heard cinematically it's breathtaking, but they said that there's a lot of things that are historically inaccurate, which I was like, I'm not really like, you know what I mean? I don't really care.
So I'll watch a documentary if I want to watch
Yeah, if
that.
I want to know
Don't get
how
me
he,
wrong.
yeah, how he strategically won Italy, I'll go watch the BBC. You know,
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I'm a slut for documentaries, but
same.
just the cinematics of it are fucking top tier.
Well, that's what Ridley Scott's
I'm
known
a
for.
I'm a whore for 9/11 documentaries. Sorry to
So
take
am
this to a dark place, but I fucking love them. Not
I.
like I love them in like a it makes me happy kind of way, but like I'm gonna go off on a rabbit trail. But we missed a lot of shit with that.
Yeah. Um. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off for the night? A little short guy, but an hour is plenty. We're gonna wait for the Super Bowl preview.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only other thing I've been watching is PWHL,
Yeah, dude.
which
It's good hockey too.
it's good quality hockey, man. And I was talking with my wife about this because she played hockey in college, so obviously she's a big hockey fan.
Yeah.
Um, but the the NHL is including them in like a thing during All Star Weekend,
Yep.
which I thought was sick. And they're selling out arenas, man. It's kind
Yeah,
of nice to watch. I
when I
mean,
was up in Ottawa, they were having a huge advertisement for the Montreal versus Toronto game. They're calling it like the battle on the Beltway. It's like they're like hyping it up big time. They want to fill the arena in Toronto.
and honestly, they might. I mean, I think geographically they picked the best locations to put those teams.
Well, I mean, Jesus, they put what almost 14,000 in the stands for the games in Minnesota. That's crazy for women's sports,
Yeah,
especially a new league.
wow.
Crazy.
But I watched it. It's quality hockey.
It is.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love watching the Rangers, but like when they're on, we watch that. It's just I like it, and I think the accessibility of it too made it a lot easier. Is like they're putting it on YouTube, but
Yeah,
there are places that are putting it on TV as well.
yeah.
Like
Like
I think,
the New York team is signed with MSG.
yeah, I was gonna say I think MSG actually had one the other day, which I was like, okay,
Yep. Whenever New York plays home, they're on MSG.
which is wild.
Yep.
I've never seen women's hockey on
Neither have
any of
I.
these channels before.
Save like championship level stuff. Like they'll show like
Yeah,
the women's college hockey championship, and then there used to be a NWHL, which I think there still is. Which I'm expecting these two leagues to merge. If I'm being honest with you, because the NWHL is it's called the Connecticut Whale. PHF, Professional Hockey Federation, is a women's league. They started in 2015. Our Premier Hockey Federation, Jesus. Oh no, they ceased this year, June 2023. That explains why the PWHL came around. Replaced by the PWHL. Okay, so it's the same league.
yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, good quality hockey. And the thing I like about it most is like all the teams are pretty much even. Like there's been a lot of overtime when we watched. Like the other night we were watching. There was two games on. One went to overtime. She's like, "Oh, we should turn to that." It went to overtime, and then literally another team scored with like 5 seconds left, and it went to overtime. Like they're quality matchups. I think that's the big draw to it. Is like you're not going to watch one team put up 20, and you know what I'm saying. You're not wasting an hour of your life like, ugh,
Right.
that was a blowout. Was that even worth watching?
Of course, Minnesota's the best team in the league.
Yeah, go figure. I like Boston. I do.
I'm
I
rooting
like
for New
watching them
York on a
play.
principle.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. Like, I was trying to find a team, and I was like, I like New York's jerseys, but there's one of the goalies for Boston. I think it was Boston. She played for America and something, and she had a sick America helmet. So I was like, well,
Of course.
that's what I'm rooting for.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, listen, it's a new league. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I gotta cheer for fucking um. No, it wasn't Boston. I don't know. I take that back. I don't cheer for Boston. I've been cheering for them, but that's because I had the wrong team. Either way, it's neither here nor there. EWHL, if you're looking for some good quality hockey to watch, it's on there. Apparently, there's a married couple on a team,
Yeah.
which is lit. Yeah.
It is a league full of lesbians, which is fine.
No, that's fine. Like, we're gonna get canceled for that one.
No, we're not. It's a fact.
They're not all lesbians.
It's like Chelsea on the New York roster. Chelsea found one girl that wasn't a lesbian.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I lied. I am cheering for New York. Let's check.
Okay.
So I am a New York fan.
All right.
That took the sales out of that. Purposely went back on everything I said. My bad, guys.
It's okay. It was a
No,
long circle journey. It's okay.
it was. It was. And there's no one else I'd rather go on a circle journey with than you.
Awesome.
Look at now. There's two gay co-hosts on here.
I'll say this as we're heading into the weekend. Obviously, this releases on Friday. One of the most underrated All-Star weekends of All-Star weekends is the NHL All-Star weekend. Go watch the skills competition on Friday night. It's a good time. Usually, if you're not around hockey, it's a lot of talent that you don't think you'll ever see. Like goalies, they compete to like score goalies or goalie goals. You get to see how fast people go. I mean, they do the fastest skater, and those dudes get up to like 50 miles an hour. It's pretty crazy. So if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, that's not the Pro Bowl games, be sure to check out the NHL All-Star game. Outside of that, you know the drill. Follow us on social media at ShortFatBaldPod. Be sure to set your bets and use signupexpert.com/SFB to get your BetStamp account so you can get all your bets in one place. And other than that, we'll see you next week for our Super Bowl preview. We might have a few extra fun guests on because that's all we're talking. Super Bowl, it's Radio Row week, it's Super Bowl week. We're gonna prep, we're gonna get ready, we're gonna get sausages out, and we're gonna talk with buds about football.
Oh yeah.
That'll be that. We'll catch you guys then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
All our socials.
Begging to be free.